post office, like gender, like, you know, sex, male, female.
Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
Present themselves as female because that's who they feel they are.
What is a female?
Why is this such a hard question to answer?
Are born male, but you know, just present themselves as female because that's who they feel they are.
What is a female?
Why is this such a hard question to answer? And I'm not saying that to make fun of him. I genuinely want to know, like, if you have these strong, I guess, male, female beliefs or whatever, why can't you answer the question on what one is?
It's a female. I'm gonna make it easier because you might have some experience with this. What is a male?
I'm not going to talk anymore.
What is, you don't know what a male is? Not at the post office, like gender, like, you know, sex, male, female.
Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
So, I want to point out that, go ahead.
Open my mouth. Who are you?
My name is Jenna. I've got a little name tag here.
Okay.
I'm with Feminist Camp.
Okay.
I believe that we should keep the immigrants and deport the racists.
Okay.
So that's what I believe. And she said that you were very knowledgeable and I should talk to you.
Okay.
So I was asking her what the most important thing is to come out and support today.
Oh, that is very, very difficult.
There's a whole array of things, right? But what speaks to you the most?
I've never really thought about it like that. I'm a 60s person. So growing up in Jim Crow, Louisiana, I've seen all this before. So I think the most important thing is to stop it in its tracks.
So you said you've seen all this before growing up in Jim Crow, Louisiana. What have you seen that reminds you of Jim Crow?
Finding a way to dismantle and to find that other that everybody can say that's what the problem is. So in the 60s, prior to the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, African Americans were the others. Now it's immigrants and trans, because those are the easy ones. But it's not. That's not where it's going to stop.
I've seen a lot of people with stuff about fascism. What is fascism? Can you tell me what fascism is?
Well, I'm going to tell you,
might want to read a history.
I'm going to tell you.
I'm just asking what fascism is.
I'm going to tell you in a short bit
Yes.
of why I'm here.
Okay, go for it.
What is fascism? Just define the phrase fascism. I also think if you're holding a sign that says democracy over fascism, you should understand what it is. That's just my opinion.
I was raised with a granny that taught me if I listened to what Jesus said in the New Testament on how to live and go by that ethos in my life, I would be doing the right thing and I would die a happy man. And what I see the administration doing, everything they're doing is against that ethos of what I think Jesus would do. That's where it all comes back to for me.
Did you feel that way about the Biden administration?
No, I didn't.
So when they were championing abortion for no reason up until birth, there are no restrictions on abortion at all, do you think Jesus would support that?
I believe that a woman should have control of her own body. You're giving more. You want more gun rights.
Well, can you answer my question?
Rights over her body.
Yeah, well, a woman doesn't have to register in certain states just to exist, so that's not true. Think he's doing anything good?
No.
No. Come on. Anything good?
No.
No, you don't think declaring that the federal government's only going to recognize two genders, male and female, that's good, right? That's common sense.
No.
No? Come on.
No, because we're all born, with differences.
Male or female, yeah. Two differences.
No. You can be you can have a female brain and male genitalia.
What's that called?
I don't know the exact term for it, but I know that, we all vary, Some people are born male, but, just present themselves.
I kind of hate the phrase "some people." I hate these type of phrases. If you guys don't know, which you probably do know if you watch my channel, I'm an engineer. You do research, a lot of numbers, a lot of statistics, a lot of data. Everything is basically some form of data, statistics, and numerical values. So when you say some and you refuse to quantify things, it really bothers me, because some can mean anything. What does that mean? How many numbers of people are you referring to? Is it 1% of the human population, 20% of the human population? And I honestly think that phrase should determine, or that amount should determine, how often you focus on an issue. So if you're pro, for example, in this case, it always comes back to this topic, but abortion. If you're pro-abortion, you should be able to quantify why you're pro-abortion with real data and statistics. Like, what percent of people have these type of abortions? What percent of people think that they're a man or a woman, or have these type of issues where they are man mentally or woman? Like, what's the number for it? You can't just say some and many. It really frustrates me.
As female, because that's who they feel they are.
What is a female? What is a female? I'm gonna make it easier because you might have some experience with this. What is a male?
I'm not going to talk anymore.
You don't know what a male is? Not at the post office, like gender, like, sex, male, female.
If you speak to her, she will.
Who are you? Who are you?
Just go away. Go.
No, she's telling you. Just letting you know.
Oh.
No,
Who are
she's
you?
telling you.
Oh.
But who are you? Because I haven't seen her here before. I come to all these things. I've never seen her before. So I'd be wary of her.
He promised to deal with the economy on day one. He's done nothing but make the economy worse.
Okay.
And
How has he done that?
tariffs,
Okay.
firing people. I mean, those are two huge things. The price of eggs has not come down.
Yeah.
He promised all of that. And he has not done that. He's just made things worse. Inflation's up. Everything is bad is going up.
Even though Trump is talking about illegal immigrants, when he targeted Haitians, they weren't illegal.
Okay.
The Venezuelans weren't illegal. He's now talking about annexing Canada and Greenland. Those are all folks that he wants over here. And so the great replacement theory, in terms of getting people to believe that white people are now will be in the minority, and we need to make sure that people of color don't come and take over, including Jews. So it's important that we stop all of this now. And we need to get back from DEI, as the person said. It has to be diversity, equity, and inclusion, because really the first people who were benefited from DEI back in 1968 when it first started were white women. And they need to be aware of the fact that when they were, who was it? Tucker Carlson said that when Trump gets elected, daddy's home and he's going to spank his teenage daughter. Who do you think he was talking about? You.
Oh.
I'm a little confused on what she's even talking about right now, if I'm being honest. What does this have to do with the presidency? Spanking teenage daughters.
Okay.
You didn't know that, did you?
All right. I guess I didn't know that. Back to my question about Jesus. Do you think Jesus would have been okay with the Biden administration's stance on his pro-abortion stance, his radical pro-abortion stance? Do you think that? Did you protest that by chance?
I think that a woman should have control of her own body.
Or do you think Jesus would have supported?
I think Jesus would want a woman to decide for herself and make that decision between her and God, the Father.
So you think God would give a woman a blessing of having a child, and He says, "I knew you, and I knit you in your mother." You think He knit a precious child in a woman's womb, and then said,
Obviously, bro, Jesus does not support abortion. But I will say this discussion, Jesus wouldn't support a lot of things on either side of the spectrum, if I'm being honest. Jesus wouldn't support removing any type of socialist program because Jesus was all about socialism. If we're being honest, Jesus turned water into wine. Jesus fed people using bread that didn't deserve it. Jesus helped the homeless make sure they can walk and wash their feet himself. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because when it comes to religion, I am a Christian, if you guys don't know. Jesus supports what Jesus supports, but Jesus in today's time
says if you want to go and kill it, I'm going to be okay with that.
I can't answer that. I think a woman should have control of her own body.
How am I the enemy? What do you mean enemy? The enemy is Satan. I am not Satan. That's our enemy. Satan doesn't exist? I've seen a lot of things at these protests that makes me believe Satan does exist.
I'm a clergy woman. I'm a Presbyterian, and I just moved here from Northern California, and I'm really afraid for democracy, and I hate that, you know, authoritarianism and oligarchs are running this country now, and it's against everything I believe Jesus stood for.
Okay. Did you protest any of the Biden administration's actions or stances as a clergy woman in the Presbyterian Church?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with some of his stuff, but most of it, you know, I've always supported peace, and I've always supported democracy, and I've always supported caring for the less fortunate, because that's what Jesus did. He cared about the vulnerable people, you know, and he told us to do that as disciples. So.
Have you ever protested a pro-choice rally?
No, because I'm a member of Clergy for Choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile what Jesus teaches about knitting children in their mother's wombs? And
Jesus never said anything about children in mother's wombs.
Okay.
He always cared about people that were vulnerable. And
do you think children in the womb count?
A lot of people disagree about when life begins.
What do you say?
But I think, like the early church fathers did, that after the first trimester, not until the baby moves, and a lot of religious traditions believe in a woman's right.
Which early church fathers believe that?
I'm trying to think. I think Origen. I think Augustine. Anyway.
You think they believed? You think they believe that they would be pro-choice today?
Well, they
what she just did right now was something called a red herring fallacy, where she brought up a topic that was a little misleading. I'm talking about Caitlin Bennett. She said that, or the lady in the blue said that Donald Trump was not really aligned with the way Jesus was moving, and that Donald Trump was doing things that Jesus Christ I guess would be against, and so on and so forth. Caitlin Bennett initially asked the question and said, were you protesting when Joe Biden was in office? That is a red herring, because what you did was brought up a topic that wasn't directly in line with what you're talking about, to kind of distract from the main point that she brought up. Yes, both of them did things that weren't aligned with Jesus Christ. Obviously, they're politicians. They're not preachers and pastors, so they do things that don't actually align with what Jesus would do. But bringing up Biden in this instance was a red herring, because you didn't actually address things that Donald Trump did. You just said Biden did things. And when you did that, what you're basically doing is saying that, and I get it, you're pointing out the hypocrisy, saying that you can't be against Biden doing things that are, you can't be against Trump doing things that are anti-Christ, but for Biden doing it. Yes, that's true, but you're also misdirecting from the main thing that she said. But I'm going to end the video here. I think she's a very fair person, more than likely. I mean, more often than not. Let me know what you guys think of this video. It's LFR JoJo, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.